Have you ever felt like there's a giant rock blocking your path? You know, that one big problem you just can't seem to get around. Well, today I want to share a story with you. A story about a prince, a king, and a mysterious rock that might just change the way you look at the obstacles in your own life. Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom, there lived a young prince named Adrian. He had everything a person could wish for: wealth, status, and a future throne. But Prince Adrian had a problem. He was incredibly lazy. Whenever a challenge arose, no matter how small, he would find a way to avoid it. If a decision needed to be made, he would procrastinate. If a task was difficult, he would delegate it or simply ignore it. He believed that problems, if left alone long enough, would simply disappear. His father, the wise old king, was deeply worried. He knew that a kingdom couldn't be led by someone who ran away from every difficulty. How could Adrian protect his people if he couldn't even face his own responsibilities? The king tried talking to him, offering advice and encouragement, but Adrian's habits were deeply ingrained. He just didn't see the point in struggling. So the king decided it was time for a practical lesson, one that the entire kingdom, and especially his son, would never forget. One night, under the cloak of darkness, the king commanded his most trusted guards to place a massive boulder right in the middle of the main road leading to the castle. It was huge, heavy, and completely blocked the path. The king then did something curious. He hid a small, heavy pouch beneath the great stone. Inside the pouch was a fortune in gold coins and a sealed letter bearing the royal crest. With his trap set, the king hid nearby, eager to see what would happen next. He also made sure that Prince Adrian would be watching from a castle window, giving him a perfect view of the scene below. As the sun rose, the road began to fill with people. First came the wealthiest merchants in the kingdom, their carts laden with fine silks and spices. When they saw the giant rock, they were furious. But what is the meaning of this? One shouted, "The king should maintain the roads properly. This is outrageous. How are we supposed to conduct business?" They grumbled, they complained, and they gestured angrily at the stone. After a while, they simply turned their carts around, taking a much longer, inconvenient route, all the while cursing the kingdom's poor management. Not a single one of them even considered trying to move the rock. Next, a company of the king's own soldiers marched down the road. They were strong, well-trained men. Seeing the boulder, their captain scoffed. "This is a disgrace. An obstacle like this on the king's highway. It's a job for the royal engineers, not for soldiers like us." They were disciplined and proud, and moving a rock was, in their eyes, beneath them. So they simply marched around it, their armor clanking, their complaints echoing the merchants' frustration. Throughout the day, a steady stream of people came and went. Elegant ladies in carriages, busy courtiers, and ordinary townspeople. They all saw the rock, and they all did the same thing. They stopped, they stared, they complained loudly about the king, the guards, and whoever else they could blame. "Why doesn't someone do something about this?" was the common cry. But that someone was never them. Prince Adrian watched from his window, shrugging. He agreed with them. It wasn't his problem, and it certainly wasn't theirs. Someone else would eventually handle it. The day was drawing to a close, and the sun was beginning to set. The king was starting to feel a bit disappointed. Just as he was about to give up, a lone figure appeared, walking slowly down the road. It was an old farmer. His clothes were worn, and his back was stooped from a long day of hard labor in the fields. He carried a heavy basket of vegetables he hoped to sell at the market. When the farmer saw the massive rock, He didn't complain. He didn't curse the king. He simply sighed, a weary but determined sound. He set down his basket of vegetables by the side of the road. He looked at the rock. Then he looked up and down the road. He probably thought about all the other people who would have trouble passing, especially after dark. He knew it wasn't his job, and he was already exhausted, but he also knew it wasn't right to leave it there. So the old farmer got to work. He placed his shoulder against the cold, hard stone and pushed. The rock didn't budge. He took a deep breath, braced his feet, and pushed again. With all his might, the rock moved just a tiny fraction of an inch. It wasn't much, but it was a start. He didn't give up. He pushed, he strained, he grunted. He found a sturdy piece of wood nearby and tried to use it as a lever. Sweat poured down his face. His muscles ached. It was a slow, grueling process. Little by little, inch by inch, the giant boulder began to move. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of struggle, with one last monumental effort, the farmer managed to push the rock completely off the road, clearing the path. Exhausted and breathing heavily, he wiped the sweat from his brow and turned to pick up his basket. But as he did, he noticed something lying in the hollow where the rock had been. It was the heavy pouch the king had hidden. Curious, the farmer picked it up. It clinked with the sound of coins. He untied the leather strap, and his eyes widened in disbelief. It was filled with gold, and tucked inside was the king's letter. With trembling hands, he unrolled the parchment and read the king's handwriting. This gold is a reward for the one who was not afraid of hard work and had the courage to move the obstacle from the path. You have earned this treasure not just for clearing the road, but for showing that action speaks louder than complaints. At that moment, the king emerged from his hiding place with Prince Adrian by his side. The king walked over to the astonished farmer, placed a hand on his shoulder, and thanked him personally. Then he turned to his son. "Adrian," the king said, his voice firm but kind. "Do you see? Every obstacle we encounter in life is like this rock. You can complain about it, you can walk around it, or you can find a way to move it." The merchants and soldiers saw only a nuisance. This good man saw an opportunity to help and a challenge to overcome. He looked his son directly in the eye. The real treasures in life, the things that truly make us stronger and wiser, are not found by avoiding difficulties. They are hidden right behind them. Complaining gets you nowhere. Action is what reveals the reward. This is the lesson I wanted you to learn. Prince Adrian stood silently, the king's words echoing in his mind. He had watched the entire day unfold. He saw the anger of the merchants, the arrogance of the soldiers, and the apathy of the crowd. But then he saw the quiet determination of one poor farmer. He saw the struggle, the sweat, and finally, the triumph. For the first time, he understood. He felt a deep sense of shame for his laziness and a newfound respect for the power of action. From that day on, Prince Adrian was a changed man. He began to face his duties, to tackle problems head-on, and eventually became a wise and beloved king himself. The moral of this story is something we can all apply to our lives. We all have rocks on our path. Maybe your rock is procrastination, holding you back from starting that project you've been dreaming of. Maybe it's the fear of rejection, stopping you from applying for that job or asking that person out. Maybe it's the sting of failure from a past attempt, making you afraid to try again. These rocks can seem huge, immovable. It's so easy to look at them and complain. It's not fair. Why is this so hard? Someone else should fix this. But just like in the story, complaining doesn't move the rock. Blaming others doesn't clear the path. The only thing that works is action. Behind every single one of our problems, there is a hidden gift. Overcoming procrastination builds discipline. Facing rejection builds resilience. Learning from failure builds wisdom. These are the real treasures. The struggle itself is what makes us stronger, smarter, and more capable. So, the next time you find a giant boulder in your way, I want you to remember the story of the farmer. Don't just complain about it. Don't just walk around it. Take a deep breath, plant your feet, and start pushing. It might be hard, it might take time, but I promise you, the treasure you find on the other side will be worth every bit of the effort. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you clear the path to your best life. I'll see you in the next video.